Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have something a little different today. I have Steve here. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. He doesn't live in Buffalo, but he's going to tell us how he became a Buffalo Bills fan, what he thinks about the Buffalo Bills this season and seasons past, and it'll be interesting to get his take. And it's good to have a different kind of fan on here, to add some perspective instead of just Jet people, which I don't have too many Jet people on anyway. But how you doing? Thanks, Steve.
It's we suffered too for many years. It's thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'll get started pretty much with how I became a Bills fan. I actually
Right.
wasn't a Jets fan very little. My
Okay.
uncle, my uncle's got a picture of me that about 10 years old. I was following my father. Then I kind of broke away. I was actually a Giants fan for a while.
Okay.
And the first Super Bowl, the Bills Giants, I actually was rooting for the Giants. I was a Giants fan.
Okay.
And then what happened was, obviously the Giants won, but then you remember what happened. Bill Parcells left.
Right.
I like Phil Simms. They brought in Jeff Hostetler. I didn't like Ray Ham even at 15 years old. I couldn't stand the guy. So
Right.
they just made a lot of changes. Otis Anderson retired. So I started basically I got a little disenchanted with the team. So a couple kids up the block were watching a Bills game.
Right.
And then I watched it. Then I really started just watching another game, and I watched another game, and then I really just started following. I took a liking to Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas, and
Yeah.
I never looked back. I've been up there, actually going up next weekend, but
Okay.
this will be my fifth time going up there in my life.
Now, the Buffalo Bills went on TV all the time unless they played the Jets. So you just watch games sporadically, I guess, this Monday night games and whatnot, or
Yeah, it depends on how good they are. So right now we're
I'm saying
lucky.
like back in the past when you were first getting into them because they were winning at the time. They were probably more exciting to watch. And I guess, yeah, I mean, yeah, with the Giants, I don't know, not doing the Giants were doing pretty good back then.
I used to get the Sunday ticket. So
Mhm.
back with DirecTV, I remember DirecTV.
Uh-huh.
I got that dish in I think '96. So for
Okay.
about 7, 8 straight years, I bought the Sunday ticket. So I was
Okay.
able to get any game for a good number of years.
Okay, so that's fair enough then. Yeah, and now, like it says, so this is going back. So did you see all of the Buffalo Bills 4 Super Bowls? Right, you were from
Yeah.
1 to 4. Okay, and how was that watching those losses? Do you remember? Like I don't know how old you were. I mean, because it was quite a while ago. How old were you first of all about that time? Do you remember? I mean,
The first Super Bowl, I was actually a Giants fan. I was
right.
15. So the next one, I was 16, 17, 18.
Okay. Yes, you old enough. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah. And
remember.
now, being a Jet fan, not having to experience anything like that, how heartbreaking was it? How discouraging was it? And let me ask you this question, because I'm not there yet. I might never be there. Do you actually enjoy the football game when you're such a fan, or is it something where like it's too much tension and stress if they lose, like you're not really enjoying it?
It's a little of both.
Okay,
It's,
makes sense. Makes
I,
sense.
I enjoy you want to be in it, you're engaged, but every year when they play the Chiefs, just say in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
yeah,
it you feel nervous, like you're about to go in and take a huge exam or something like that, and
yeah, yeah,
or you're about to speak in public for the first time or
yeah.
something like that. So it's nerve wracking. It's exciting, but it's nerve wracking. It's better when they win. It's
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. I mean, it's been a long time for the Jets winning, but of course, I do remember the Jets being in the couple of AFC championship games, and especially when against Denver, we were winning at the halftime, and I just had that feeling, which I might never have again. Like, I don't believe this. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. We might go to the Super Bowl. It was just an incredible, incredible feeling, and of course, they wound up losing the game. I also remember going way back for the Jet fans out there, the Miami game with AJ Dewey. I think. Recovering fumbles, interceptions 3 times, or for Richard Todd. So I go back quite a ways. I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah, I
And
was
then,
in that
yeah,
game. The first one you referenced when they were facing Denver, when Denver went to the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah,
We were how disastrous the locker room was and stuff, and there was no cell phones then or anything. So somebody had a transistor radio, and we
yeah,
were changing stuff. We were following the score.
yeah. It was difficult. And my thing too with the Jets is when they went to the AFC Championship game against the Steelers and that whole run that the Jets had, it was very unusual for me, that whole Mark Sanchez era, because I never felt that they were a really good football team. I felt like unlike the Buffalo Bills and other teams that are in playoffs year, I just felt like they won games at the end because some teams sat their starters. They won games because of the defense and intercepting the ball, running it. They just didn't have that powerful offense where they were going to be able to come back and do things. Won games in overtime. I mean, they had a lot of, I don't know if you want to call it luck or not. So I didn't have that confidence I did have one confidence though, which is interesting. I don't know if you've ever experienced this with Buffalo Bills, but the Jet defense was so good under Rex Ryan. I had the confidence, even if we were playing a team who averaged 28, 30 points a game, I knew they won't score on the Jets. That I felt totally comfortable with. The problem was we couldn't score 30 points a game, So what do you think about, the fact that, and how frustrating is it, you kind of I don't know if you just go through the motions during the season. Obviously, the Bills are going to be in the playoffs again. They're probably going to win the AFC East again. That's what you're thinking, probably. I mean, so how is watching the whole season? Oh yeah, they won, big deal. Do you feel that way? Because you want to just get to the playoffs,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's great. They could go 17-0.
Right.
We still got to get past. We seem to be able to get past Baltimore.
Yeah.
We lost last year in the season, but we beat them in the
Right.
play. They're very close still, but we beat them. It's really KC. KC is. I didn't think they were strong. They only lost 2 games last year, but I thought they were a lot weaker than the 2 games they lost. And this year they already lost 2 games. I think they're even further weakened, but they just got our number. And until we really get past them, we can't. There's no celebration for me until really they get past them or they get defeated, and we don't have to get past them, one or the other.
I tell you, it's good and bad depending what side of the coin you're on. When your team either wins or loses a close game against a very good football team. And in the case of the Bills, I feel like you'd be more excited, and all the Bill fans are going to say, if you would have won that game by 10 plus points. The fact that anybody could have won it makes you think well, if they play again, maybe the Bills are going to, the Ravens are going to win next time. It was kind of like a fluky, that's the thing with that. You want to see they had their number, they stymied them, to feel more comfortable that way. So
we can easily lose against them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you beat them again, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
It was that's how I felt with the Jets. With the Rex Ryan and the Sanchez thing, we were winning games, but I'm like, it's barely winning, and there's just I didn't have that. We're not beating people down, or not doing anything crazy.
We never get the offense and the defense. So we had, the K-gun offense in the early '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Then that died out with Kelly retiring and Thomas getting a little older, and James Lofton retiring. And then we get a great defense come the middle '90s. Ted Washington, Phil Hansen.
Yeah.
And then our offense putters. Then we get back out. We pretty much went through a drought. I remember seeing a meme. It was relatively funny because Josh Allen, I believe, was born. Josh Allen was born in 96, I believe. 95, 96. And it said when Jim Kelly was retiring, say, "Hey Jim, we found your replacement because he's in the maternity ward in the Buffalo hospital." Because it took that long. He was an infant when Jim Kelly retired. And it took that long. We went through a series of, we get somebody promising. We got Drew Bledsoe. Moody. We had a number of other prospects, and then they just, one after another, they just flooded out.
Yeah. Tyrod Taylor played for the Jets or something.
got our sloppy seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with football. Like I says, everybody kind of knows that it's all about the quarterback and if you have a quarterback or not. Some teams are very lucky. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but the Packers going from Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love doesn't seem too bad. That always amazes me where some teams just have a good quarterback back to back to back, and teams like the Jets and the Browns, which is debatable. Who's worse and who's having the most luck, the Browns or the Jets, is debatable. Right now on the Jets, I don't, listen, I said I'm not a fan. A fan's a bad word. I don't really believe in Justin Fields. Of course, the first game he did very well. The second game he looked like Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor's going to be playing against Tampa. I mean, does that worry me? No, because I'm sure he can throw more than 3 completions. That's all that Justin Fields did.
Yeah.
But I mean, you must feel like time has to be running out soon for the Bills, and do they do a change at the head coach or something like that? I mean, when do they get tied if they do lose? And I got to tell you, last year I wanted nothing but to see the Bills against the Lions in the Super Bowl. And it took me a long time to get there, but I actually do feel bad for the Bills. I'm not being sarcastic or whatever. I mean, I think they're due. They paid their dues. You know, it's not going to be the Jets, and I'd like to see the Bills, get there. And of course, I mean, listen, as a fan, I don't know if you get this or not. Some Giant fans, a few Bill fans, if they really razz me and bust my chops, it becomes impossible for me to root for that team. That's the thing. So and that's always the case. In reality, the Bills should be in the Super Bowl, and I wish them nothing but the best. But if I'm going to get harassed by the Bill fans or the Giant fans sometimes, and when they lose, I'm like, it makes me, it's hard to root for them. But yeah, last year I wanted to see them go to Super Bowl. I didn't want to see the Chiefs again and the Eagles again. I don't think anybody did.
It's tiring. It's the same.
Yeah.
The same cast of characters, and I would love to. That's the same way I feel. If the Bills don't get in, I'll root for the Giants or the Jets if they were able to get in. The Giants in the 2 Super Bowls, those bad years, I rooted for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially since Tom Brady was in my division, but I will still root. I don't despise either team. I would lean more towards Giants and Jets because I was a Giant fan, but I would root for either one if they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing where you being a Jet fan and being basically the losing team for so long. I do feel like, hey, I hope the Lions get in there. They never won. I hope the Bills get in there and win. They never won. You start going that route instead of like, oh, this team won 4 times already. Who cares? I don't want to see them win again. So now, like tonight's game, I mean, I don't know if you think tonight's game is going to be interesting against Miami. I'm looking at it for interest points. So I'm looking at it like if the Bills hopefully destroy the Dolphins, we play the Dolphins in 2 weeks. That could be our first win of the season. I'm looking at it that way, I'm hoping it's not a close game. But what do you think about tonight's game? What do you see so far?
I don't know. I think the Bills have put up more than 30 points both games. I think they still put up 30 points tonight. I don't think Cook's going to have a runaway game. It's a short break, and historically, like they did with him last year and the year before, when they had those short breaks. Last year anyway, they brought in Davis. So I think Davis will get a lot of touches tonight. I still think the Bills won. I'd say it's 30-something to maybe 17 or something like that. I think might get a couple touchdowns on the Bills.
As you were speaking, I was very curious to see what the point spread was. I was thinking it was going to be 9.5 or 10. It's actually 11.5 point spread for the Bills, which pretty much makes sense. I think the Dolphins have a lot to prove,
I think the Bills cover. I don't think they're going to blow them out by 30 points, but I think they cover. I'd say they win 30-something to maybe 17 to 20. The Dolphins will get 17 to 20 up on the board.
Yeah, and that'll be a feel-good game for the Dolphins if they even compete with the Bills going forward, So we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, so basically, I mean, like I said, just to get your take on the Bills and how you became a Bill fan. And it's good to have somebody else's perspective on here. And maybe we'll have you on again sometime soon. And, that's about it. So hopefully I think the Bills are going to have a good season. I'm not sure how tough their schedule is. I mean, playing the Jets twice and playing the Dolphins twice. And New England, I mean, I expect New England to maybe improve a little bit and be a little bit of a tougher out, basically. But we'll see how they come along with their coach and everything. And then their fairly new quarterback. And, I'm sure they'll win the division.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're on a 3-game home stretch. So we're playing again at home now. And then when I go to the game next week, and they're playing the Saints. So that's their 3. They're home, and they got a pretty easy stretch. They should, I anticipate they're definitely a good 4-0 before they start, branching off or going to play other teams. I know they play, obviously they play the Chiefs. They got to play Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's not nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
But they got challenging games coming up. But really, the big one, I think the hardest game, honestly, was the Ravens, because we've been beating the Chiefs during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Chiefs are a weekend. You never count out Pat Mahomes and the coaching staff, but But he was saying before with the coaching, every year I say, do we give McDermott another year, because something's got to change. It ain't at the quarterback or the running back situation.
Right. That's the theory. Like, even though they're successful, something's got to change eventually. Right. And, it's funny. It seems like a simple fix because with with the Chiefs and the Ravens, and that it annoys me. But I guess it's good if you're a fan of the Ravens. That running quarterback situation will just drive you nuts, and Josh Allen does it too. So that becomes he ran quite a bit on the Jets at one time anyway. That becomes frustrating too. But you kind of know what you need to do year after year. You need to draft the defense. You need pass rushers. You need corners and safeties, and yeah, it's interesting how it's hard to get it done. It sounds simple, but it's hard to get it done. So
Yeah. And football, it's not like baseball. We have the best of 7. I mean,
right.
any game could go either way. You have a couple turnovers. Just somebody gets fumbleitis that game or something like that.
Yeah,
So things turn relatively quick. So.
And the injuries throughout the season, that's another factor too. That's always a pain in the ass too. These
Well,
guys.
we're lucky. We got 2 out. We got Matt Milano. He's made of glass, and we got Oliver. But I think they're really just sitting Oliver these 2 games, honestly, because they really don't. They're not going to pressure him. They'll bring him back when they really need him, I think.
Yeah, that's smart. So, all right. Like I said, we'll wrap it up, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll be going to Tampa. You'll be going to Buffalo, and like I says, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your trip to Buffalo. I'm glad you're going up there while it's still warm. Well, you're going up there when? How many weeks though? Yeah,
Next week.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
We wanted to go to the Tampa because my other son's a Tampa-based fan. So we wanted to go up, but it was November. I think it was November 16th or 17th. And I said, that's dangerous waters up there in the middle of November. You can get a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So,
They get the lake effect snows early in the year. They get feet of snow.
November, they're usually good for a storm sometime in November. I said, I don't want to get stuck up there. We spend all this money on tickets and we can't go or something like that. So
yeah, you got to pack your shovels.
Yeah, I'm taking the Tampa next year. That's our trip next year.
Yeah. Interesting.
We're going to go there in November after the hurricane.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing. Yeah, I know. There's always something. There's always something. All right. Listen, have a great night, Steve. Great talking to you. I appreciate it. All right. All right. Be well.
I'll take care. See you later. Enjoy your trip.
Okay. Thanks.